Good morning. My name is Cynthia DeFazio. I am sitting with Brian Kwawantra. Did I pronounce it right?
You're getting closer. With every episode, you're getting closer and closer.
Well, what the folks at home need to understand, we are on live TV,
yeah, I know.
so I get one shot. So basically what I start to say is just Brian Q.
Yeah, Brian Q is the easiest way to go.
We run with it. But Brian, you are the CEO and the founder of Secure Money Advisors.
Yes. Yep.
And so whenever we're together, there's always so much knowledge that you're able to share with the viewing audience. I personally have been completely, not even astounded, but just really touched by the amount of people that have called in, that have set their appointments with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, wanting to get to know you better, to talk about their retirement goals, their plans, what that structure is going to look like for them. And a lot of this is due to our time together on TV, even when I can't pronounce your name right.
I know. Well, look, I've had clients for 20 years that still can't pronounce it. You know? This is why, you know, the whole team just says, call him Brian Q.
Yeah.
And, you know, my dad owned a Montgomery Ward store.
Yeah.
My grandfather had a Kirby vacuum cleaner store, and everybody called my dad Mr. Q and my grandfather Mr. Q, because nobody's been butchered all my life. So
that makes me feel a little better. And I kind of like to also say, questions about financial planning, Brian Q. Q for questions.
That's right. Well, you know, on the radio show, which we do on 94.5 3WS, we do that every Saturday morning from 8 to 9. And we also do it every Sunday from 7 to 7:30. And then right after that, of course, we've got the TV show now.
Sure.
But, you know, we do Increasing Your Financial IQ with Brian Q. And that's Retirement U Radio, because nobody's going to be able to pronounce Brian Kwawantra.
Yes, yes. Well, and I'm getting a little better. But
yeah, I know.
Well, and it's been an amazing journey also for the viewers that are tuning in for the first time.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about your life, your son. You have a little baby boy.
I do. I've got a little 6-month-old, and it's been just an absolute blessing, because by nature I am a workaholic. You know, I come from a long line of business owners, and we're very passionate about trying to make some change in the world for good. But, you know, Secure Money Advisors was really created out of my own frustrations, because 20 years ago when I got into the business, I just didn't like what I saw. You know, I grew up in New Jersey, and, you know, my mom and dad worked very, very hard. My dad had a Montgomery Ward store. It was doing very, very well. And then Montgomery Ward's filed for bankruptcy. And my parents went from having this great income to having financial hardship overnight. And, you know, as a young kid, you know, that affected me. It affected me a lot. And my dad used to always tell me about his broker out of New York, and, you know, and the stocks he was buying and how he was losing money. And I could never really figure out why my dad would give this guy money, but he would always lose money. He was never making money. But more importantly, when they lost the store because of Montgomery Ward's filing bankruptcy, there really was no plan in place to protect them from that. And so I had an opportunity to get a scholarship to play football at Robert Morris University here in Pittsburgh. And when I came here, I studied business, and I thought I was really going to go home after I graduated and work on Wall Street. But I had a good friend of mine tell me, you know, you ought to come down to this firm here in Pittsburgh and listen to them and hear what they have to say. So I did. And I studied when I got to the firm, and I got my license. And, you know, at that time, once you pass your exam, they call you a junior advisor, which is just a really nice way of saying, hey, kid, can you make some copies for me? Can you get me a cup of coffee? Can you come into this meeting and take some notes? And I got an opportunity to sit in meeting after meeting with advisors that had been in the business for 20, 25 years. And I would hear them talk to individuals that were getting ready to retire, and they would say, you know, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, you know, we're going to do a good job in rolling over your 401k, or we're going to reposition your retirement money, and we're going to make it more conservative, and we're going to diversify it, right? We're going to buy some technology, some pharmaceuticals, we're going to add some bonds in there, we're going to buy growth stocks, mid-cap stocks, small cap stocks. And the reason for the diversification is you're going to have non-correlating assets. Some are going to be going up, some might be going down. But if we get it right through this asset allocation model, even during heavy market volatility, we shouldn't lose too much money. Well, I got into business right at the end of 1999. And of course, what a great time to get into business, because 2000, 2001, 2002 was a nightmare. And all of these people that I saw these advisors sitting with, that they were supposedly helping, that really didn't want to take a whole lot of risk with their money, a lot of these people lost 40, 50% of their money. And of course, they were very, very upset. I remember the phones ringing at the firm, And people were very, very upset. They wanted to get out of the market. And what changed my life was a phone call that I took. It was a gentleman that had been with the firm for quite a while. I took the call, and he said, "I'd like to speak with my advisor." So I went to the advisor. I said, "You've got a client on the phone. He wants to talk to you. He's lost money. He'd like to get out of the market." And he says, "Brian," he says, "do me a favor. Just let that guy know that not to worry about anything. It's just a paper loss." Now, I don't know about you, but if anybody's ever told, would everybody ever tell me that it's a paper loss, I would be a little bit offended by that, because it doesn't feel like a paper loss to me.
No, absolutely.
And then he told me, he said, also tell him not to forget that he's in it for the long haul.
Yeah.
So being young in the business, I didn't know what to do. So I just followed orders. I went back to the phone and I said, Sam, I said, I spoke with the advisor. He said, look, not to worry about anything. It's just a paper loss. It will rebound. And don't forget, just hang in there. You're in this for the long haul. And he said, Brian, I'm 75 years old. How much long haul do you think I got left? And that really hit me, and it impacted me. And I said, you know what, he's 100% right. Because this isn't a dress rehearsal.
No.
You don't get a second chance at it. And I said, if this is what managing people's money is about, this is not what I want to be part of, because this is gambling with people's money, and there's got to be better ways to do it, and there are. And so I spent a lot of years studying and really researching the market, and found some really great mentors that understood how to have downside protection in your retirement plans, so you didn't have to be exposed to losses to that degree. And that is what drives me to this day, is that if you look at all the big firms out there, there's this message that there's continued to be perpetuated out there, and there's just better ways to do it than the old way. I mean, if you look at most people's portfolios, they're kind of like the old cell phone of the 80s. You think of the old cell phone of the 80s, the big chunky brick. It didn't do a whole lot. I mean, you could barely get service. You think about the cell phone today, I barely need a computer. Because it does everything for me. And that's the technology that we've seen in the investment world too, is that there's products and programs and designs and different types of tactical management and strategic management that can literally limit losses or eliminate losses altogether to give an individual peace of mind in retirement. And my passion really is educating people on how to do this and teaching them how to do it and letting them know there's a better way.
And I think it's important that we talk about your exact title, because you're a fiduciary. So for the viewers at home, a lot of them may not know what that is. Being a consumer advocate, I'm very familiar with that term, but please tell the viewing audience what are you held to? What is the standard?
Yeah, I mean, the fiduciary standard really is the highest standard in the industry. We're really held to the highest standard. I mean, we really have to do what's in the best interest of the client. So basically the way I look at it is, what would I do if I was sitting down with my mom and dad?
Exactly.
Right? And I'm not beholden to any specific company. I truly have to shop the market and find what products are going to work for my clients the best. But what we do first is, a fiduciary's responsibility is to help strategically design a plan, right? And the plan always comes first. See, people have it backwards, and the investment world has it backwards. They sit down with somebody and start to talk about product. That's not where you start. You always start first. When people come into Secure Money Advisors, they're amazed with the questions we start to ask them, right? Because our questioning process, they've never been asked these questions before. And so through that, we truly find, what are we trying to accomplish with this money? And then once we understand the plan, that is the only time in which we start to look at product in the marketplace.
Sure, because Brian, you have a very personalized twist on that. Each individual that comes into your office, they're sitting with you, you're asking questions to them that maybe no one has ever taken the time to ask before, ever. So you're getting a true picture of what's important to each individual client, and that's not the same for every person.
Yeah, and this is why we always offer a complimentary no-cost review. This is a $1,000 value that we offer to the people that are watching this TV show, is that you can get an opportunity to come in and sit down with a fiduciary. And really, we take the whole process, and we make it so simple and so easy to understand. Most people are amazed because they'll say, for the first time, I actually understand what you guys are talking about. So for the next 10 callers who call 1-888-382-1298, again, that's 1-888-382-1298, you're going to get a complimentary no-cost review. Again, it's a $1,000 value that you're going to get. You're going to be able to come in, sit down, know that there's no pressure to do anything. You don't have to worry about making any decisions, but you are going to learn a lot, and we are going to teach you a lot on how to do this differently and give yourself peace of mind that you've probably never had before.
And Brian, it's time for our first break. Viewers, please stay tuned. That number, once again, we realize the phone lines are busy, but keep trying. It's 1-888-382-1298. When we come back after this quick commercial break, we're going to have some more questions for Brian, and I think it's going to be more about Social Security, so please stay tuned.
How confident are you in your current financial plan? Do you know with certainty how the recent market volatility will affect your future hopes and dreams? How much are you paying in taxes? And how much are you losing to unnecessary high fees? You didn't work to save this money so that you could spend your time worried in retirement. Now is the time to take charge of your finances so you can feel confident about your future. Call in during the next 30 minutes of today's show only to set up an absolutely complimentary, no obligation, full-blown financial review that will result in your own customized written plan. This is a $999 value that we're giving away complimentary to the first 10 people who respond. We'll start with a full-blown analysis of what you already have by running a report to untangle how much you are currently paying in fees, how you're allocated for risk, and what it's costing to work with your current advisor. Next, we'll identify your goals. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Where do you want to go, and who do you hope to go there with? Is your current financial plan set up to get you there without mishap? Let's design a roadmap to create a financial plan you can follow with confidence. Get the piece that so many people are missing from their retirement. Find out how having a written plan can make a difference to your retirement dreams. Call now to schedule your complimentary, no obligation, full-blown financial review today.
Welcome back. My name is Cynthia DeFazio. I'm sitting with Brian Q, founder and CEO of Secure Money Advisors. Welcome back, Brian, after the break.
That one went well, right? We just go right for the Brian Q.
I'm just going to go with the Q for the viewing audience at home. It's just the Q.
I think they'll appreciate it too.
Well, Brian, I want to talk a little bit about, we've had so many different questions throughout the weeks about Social Security. This seems to be a hot topic for so many reasons. There's a lot of, apprehension right now, and there's maybe a little bit of fear, if you will, that it could one day go away.
Yeah.
So talking about just some myths that are surrounding Social Security, I want to get your opinion on, you have people coming in that they really don't have a set financial plan, but they're coming in to sit with you and they're like, Brian, I feel like Social Security is going to cover all of my income needs.
Yeah, I know.
I mean,
I know. Well, the grand experiment in the country, and nobody knows how this is going to work out, is that employers replace guaranteed pensions with 401k plans, and so we don't have an additional guaranteed source of income like we used to have 30, 40 years ago with the pension. So the only guaranteed source that most people have when they retire is going to be Social Security. And if you're a married couple, you got 2 checks coming in, right? And there's some maximization strategies that are still available, but for most people, those 2 Social Security checks are just not going to be enough to cover the expenses, and they're going to need additional income. And that's really where retirement planning has changed, because the change has been in the fact that people have to understand that when you retire, the game changes. When you're investing money on your way to retirement, your whole goal is to invest as much money as you can, get the highest rate of return. Maybe you're not as concerned with market volatility because you have time to recover if the market comes back. But when you retire, what got you there is not going to get you through the next 30 years, because it all becomes, the foundation on retirement planning all comes around income planning.
Sure, that makes perfect sense. So I think another myth that people seem to have a little bit, and you can explain this, Brian, as well, is people think that they should take their Social Security benefits early, but there's different rules to follow for that, correct?
There is, and it's really different for everybody, because a lot of times, and there's a lot of noise in the marketplace right now, on what to do with Social Security, and the noise in the marketplace is a lot around these what we call delaying strategies, where you're going to delay taking delaying Social Security. The challenges with that, obviously, are if someone's going to delay Social Security, but they want to retire right now, that means they're going to have to get income from somewhere to be retired. And if they don't have a pension, that means they're probably going to have to take it from the retirement accounts. And what we have found when we look at the math, and that's really our focus at Secure Money Advisors, is we hate opinions. And our goal really is to share with people the black and white math, because the answers and the decisions can be made in that black and white math. And what we have found is that if someone tries to delay Social Security and take money out of their retirement accounts, a lot of times it just doesn't benefit them. So a lot of times it makes sense to take it maybe earlier. But what else goes into it is health, right? How's your health? Because your health is going to be a big determining factor of, do I collect it now? Do I delay it? So there's a lot of different factors, and this is something that we can help with. I mean, Social Security is a huge component when it comes to building your income plan in retirement, and certainly we want to take advantage of everything we possibly can to maximize what we can get from Social Security.
And wouldn't you agree that a lot of times people, then they go online to check their benefits, sometimes it's not accurate, the information you can find. Is that correct?
It's not accurate, or a lot of times they might go in and sit down with somebody from Social Security and get incorrect information from Social Security, because, you know, I've got a friend on speed dial who works at Social Security. And I'll call him with questions and he'll tell me. Now, he trains the people that we see, right?
My goodness, right.
And he'll call me and he'll say, you know, I've got to get back to you on that. Now, think about that for a minute. This is a benefit that a lot of us paid into for 40 plus years, and it shouldn't be this difficult, right?
No.
But unfortunately it is. So working with someone that understands Social Security, like Secure Money Advisors, is a big advantage when it comes to building a retirement plan.
Sure, and I think it's important that we point out that when you call, like let's say that 1-800 number for Social Security, that their job is not to advise you and consult you on what's best for you. I mean, they're just going to give you what information they have, but it's that's what you do.
Yeah, right. Well, you know, every once in a while you'll find that you know, that golden nugget at Social Security where you just found the perfect person that gave you all the right advice. But really, this is why you want to rely on you know, a firm like ours, where this is a big part. We educate ourselves on it. We understand it. We understand all the different moving parts. And if we don't have the answers, we have people we can contact that do have the answers, and that's a big advantage.
That's fantastic, Brian. And then I think another myth that we should talk about is once someone starts their benefits with Social Security, can they work any longer? What happens with that?
Oh, this is a great one, because they think that they can't work anymore. I'm sorry, that they can't work and collect Social Security. And that's true, and it's false, okay? And the way it works is if you collect before your full retirement age, so let's say your full retirement age is 66 and you want to collect at 63, okay? And you still wanted to work. Social Security is going to cap how much money you can make. I think it's about $17,400 or $17,600, somewhere around there, that you can make. If you make beyond that, right, there's a 50% penalty for any money that you make beyond that. But once you turn your full retirement age, you can work and make as much money as you want. Now, we did this with my dad to accelerate my parents' retirement because of everything my parents went through with the Montgomery Ward store. You know, there was years missed on savings. So to accelerate that savings, what we did was when my dad turned his full retirement age, we turned Social Security on. My dad still worked, and we actually saved 100% of the Social Security check, and we built up a big pot of money by the time my dad retired at the age of 71. And so we were able to get a couple $100,000 into an account, and this is the way that we've been able to take people that are maybe behind on savings and actually in a very short period of time, by leveraging Social Security that way, actually get them retired when they thought they would never be able to get retired, just by leveraging that income from Social Security.
I'm just imagining how proud your dad was at that moment when you uncovered that for him. Right? I mean, are you like the favorite son now?
You know, I'll tell you, you know, my dad's kind of funny because I'm still his son, right?
Yeah.
So it's funny because one of my other advisors at the office advises my dad, because my dad still goes, "Really? Are you sure I can do this, Brian?"
Now, why is that?
Right?
It's so funny.
Because I'm just his son, right?
I know, so we're still like 12 years old to them.
Yeah, right.
I know, I get it.
Anyway, but this is why we offer these complimentary consultations at the office. And again, for all of the viewers right now, for the next 10 callers that call in, and I know the phone lines have been very busy, we've been getting a lot of phone calls, but for the next 10 callers, you're going to get a complimentary review, no cost, it's $1,000 value. Call 1-888-382-1298. Again, that's 1-888-382-1298. When you come in, it'll be a very simple, easy process, and we look forward to seeing you.
Brian, it's time for us to take another break. Viewers, please stay with us. When we come back, we're going to have more questions for Brian about planning your perfect retirement. Once again, that number, if you're trying to call, is 1-888-382-1298. And please be patient. We know the phone lines are busy. We'll be right back.
Retirement planning is just all about getting to know somebody. I mean, retirement planning is really about just building trust with people. I have a responsibility that when I wake up in the morning to be the very best that I can be, because people are relying on me to take care of a lifetime's worth of work that they've worked 30, 40 years for. I don't take that lightly. That's what drives me. That's what I'm passionate about. You know, our clients really are our family of clients. We know their grandkids, we know their kids. We see them often throughout the community. We see them at the coffee shop, we see them at lunch. We really enjoy it. You know, we take pride in the quality of the relationships that we build with our clients. Choosing the right advisor starts with choosing someone that shares in the same beliefs about money that you have. At Secure Money Advisors, our focus here is about building plans around principal protection. Low-risk investments are a great way to approach retirement. You know, when people have low-risk investments, they're not worried, they don't have anxieties, they don't have fears, they don't have to worry about what's going on in the stock market. There are other options available other than risk options that people need to know about when it comes to retirement. And that's what we do at Secure Money Advisors. There's a lot of responsibility in helping somebody plan for their retirement. And that's why we take the time to listen. We take the time to understand their concerns, their worries, their needs, so that we can put together a customized plan. You know, we believe in what we do. Everybody that works for Secure Money Advisors is on a mission to be the very best that they can be and to serve our clients in the best way that they can possibly serve them. You know, we just are a simple company, and it's the simplicity in what we do that makes everything so powerful. You know, you don't need to make this thing complicated. Retirement should not be complicated. It should be simple, easy, predictable, and we pride ourselves on providing that to people.
Welcome back. My name is Cynthia DeFazio. I'm sitting with Brian Q, the founder and CEO of Secure Money Advisors. And Brian, we're coming to the favorite part of the show.
Yes, we are.
I love this. The questions from the viewers, because they have so many amazing things they want to ask you. So if you don't mind, I'm going to jump right into a question.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm turning 70 in November. When will I be required to make my first RMD, which for the viewing audience at home, we should point out required minimum distribution?
That's right.
And can I avoid taking the initial withdrawal and the second withdrawal in the same year?
Yeah, what a great question, and what great timing with this question, because the biggest thing we're dealing with and the biggest change in the financial industry right now was on December 20th, the president signed into law the Secure Act. You know, so everybody knows that you know, you had to start required minimum distributions at the age of 70.5, but now you don't have to start them until 72. Now, if you've already been taking your required minimum distributions and maybe you're 71, you can't delay them. You're not you're not going to be able to get away with that. But this is a big one, because now we can delay RMDs out till 72. And there's some other big changes that took place with the Secure Act too. I mean, we used to be able to stretch our IRAs out with our children. So your children, you know, I'll give you a great story on how this impacts people. So the Secure Act, before the Secure Act, let's say I had an individual, and this was a great story that was in Money Magazine. A son inherited his father's $500,000 retirement account, okay? And the article went on to say the son had no idea that his dad had saved that much money. So he calls up the company, and they say, yep, you're the primary beneficiary of it, and here's the paperwork, please fill it out and send it back. So he does that, he sends it in, and a couple weeks later, a $500,000 check shows up in the mail. Now, a few weeks after that, a 1099 shows up in the mail, which means he's taxed on all $500,000.
Wow.
So In that year alone, he owes over $240,000 in taxes, because not only is that $500,000 that he received from his dad's IRA 100% taxable at his income tax bracket, but it gets added to all his other income. So him and his wife are making about $150,000 combined a year. So now he's paying taxes on $650,000. Now, before the Secure Act, what we were able to do was we were actually able to, he would have been able to take that money from his dad's retirement account, and he would have been able to move that to what we call a stretch IRA.
Okay.
And he would have been able to not pay any taxes when that money came in that account. Now, the only catch was that he would have to take a small distribution out every single year, and he could do that over the course of his life. And so now, if you ran the numbers, on that situation, he receives $500,000. In his first year, he maybe had to take out $13,000, and that would have been the only money he would have had to pay taxes on. But not knowing how it works, he takes all $500,000 and winds up paying $240,000 in taxes. The Secure Act changed stretch IRAs now, and they said, look, we're not going to give you the ability to stretch them anymore over your lifetime. You have to take all the money out within 10 years. Folks, this is a big, big tax issue.
Yeah.
And if nobody's talking to you about this, you have to understand this, because this is going to impact your legacy that you can leave to your family.
Sure.
So understanding this and understanding the strategies that we're putting in place right now for our clients to avoid that and to still be able to leave that legacy and not make Uncle Sam your largest beneficiary is critical that you understand that. So if you come in to the office, which I'm going to talk to you a little bit of how you can do that, we'll show you exactly how to do it. I'll teach you a very simple strategy to handle that.
Perfect. Great answer and great advice, Brian. Absolutely. We have time for, I believe, one more question.
Yep.
This one says, Brian, I'm about 5 years away from retirement. I have never put together a retirement plan. Is it too late for me to start now?
Well, neither did my dad. And I showed him how to retire in a very short period of time by leveraging Social Security, and there's all kinds of different strategies to do it. But this is why we offer these complimentary reviews. And folks, I want to stress to you that, you know, we know that going out and seeing a financial advisor can be a very, very intimidating process. It's not like that when you come into Secure Money Advisors. It's a very relaxed environment. We really, really make it easy for you to share what you need to share with us. There's no judgment, there's no criticism. We don't care where you are, right? Our goal is to say, what's happening right now? Don't worry about what you've purchased or whether you've purchased the right things or the wrong things. That's not what it's about. It's about where we need to go. And most importantly, having a plan of where we need to go. And by doing that, you are going to have peace of mind that you've never had before. So again, for the next 10 callers that call 1-888-382-1298, again, that's 1-888-382-1298, you're going to get a complimentary, no-cost review. And again, that's a $1,000 value that you're going to get. Come in. It's not very often that you get to meet with a fiduciary.
Absolutely. And Brian, it's time for us to close the show. To our viewers, we will see you next week. Please tune in. Thank you again for watching Questions and Answers with Brian.